that point. And Majority Minority Leader, as you have assured the House, move and correct that anomaly so that we have fairness. Those serving in the Finance Committee, I sit in my office and almost everybody wants to serve on that committee. Now I understand why. The Budget Committee, sorry. Everybody wants to serve on the Budget Committee. Now I fully understand why. Budget Committee. Not Finance, Budget. So those who serve in the Budget Committee, you are the trustees of public good. So as everybody else. Whether it's transport, whether it's energy, I get a lot of information. I just encourage you. Many of you are doing your second term, first term, a few doing third term. If you have to live longer, be fair. If you have to live longer, be just and be equitable in everything you do. Thank you. Farah Malim, yes, who is calling the speaker? Donya, on the same issue? That one is closed. What is it?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You've guided us that now that our leaders have spoken, it's good to always give the people's leaders to echo their points. Sometimes they can miss something, Honorable Speaker, because they don't carry our heads. Thank you. We echo what they say.
Thank you, Honorable Donya. That is why they are leaders. They carry your interests at all times. Honorable members in the Speaker's gallery, allow me to acknowledge Katunguru Secondary School from Mavioya, Muranga, Gatero Girls High School from Laikipia West, Laikipia. In the public gallery, Kianyaga High School from Gishugu, Kirinyaga, Makongeni Secondary School from Makadara, Nairobi, Bahati Community Center School from Embakasi East, Nairobi, Miumbuni AIC School from Kadhiani, Machakos. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Next order. Sorry, Farah Malim, 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me this opportunity. I rise to address the nation and Parliament, or National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, after the defunding of all UN organizations by the Trump administration, I am an MP in an area where we host 2 refugee camps, the Dadaab refugee camp or the Dadaab complex and Hagadera. Mr. Speaker, it is so dire in the refugee camps right now in this month of Ramadan that the refugees are getting less than 20% of the ration they used to get before. So we have a disaster. We have a famine in the refugee camps. We have starvation in the refugee camps. I'm calling on the government, our own government, good government, and all other well-wishers in this case, businessmen and individuals, to help the refugees who are in our country today so that they are able to get a balanced diet in this month of Ramadan. Mr. Speaker, I particularly call upon the Department of Special Programs to deal with this thing. Otherwise, we are watching starvation in the eyes. Even water, even basic medical services, all those UN agencies that have been defunded are not executing the programs or the specialities that they used to execute before, particularly a body like the World Food Program. So, Mr. Speaker, I call upon all our government and all other governments also to come to the assistance of the 600,000 refugees that we have in the Dadaab complex and an additional almost 200,000 refugees in Kakuma complex. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Farah Malim. Majority Leader has heard. He will communicate to the national government. Next order.
Order number 12, the County Government's Additional Allocation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025, second reading.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the County Government Additional Allocations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, this bill we are publishing it, we publish it for the second time, Honorable Speaker, following the lapse of the mediation process on the bill that we had published last year. Honorable Speaker, you know, this additional county allocations bill has additional allocations that go to the county governments above what we share on the, or rather in the division of revenue bill. And the schedules, Honorable Speaker, that are attached to this bill, about 3 schedules, and the first one shows conditional or has conditional allocations to counties from our national government revenues, such as the KIPES money that the national government gives to counties, and other conditional allocations. And many members, you remember even the 11 counties that have over the last few years benefited from monies that come as conditional grants to help them build and complete their county headquarters. And that is the first schedule that details all the additional conditional allocations. Then there is a second schedule, Honorable Speaker, that has unconditional allocations to counties from especially monies that come from court fines collected by the judiciary, from contraventions of the county government's legislations. Because, Honorable Speaker, many people are taken to court and levied fines and penalties for having contravened county government legislative proposals or legislations or bylaws in our towns and elsewhere, Honorable Speaker. And this money is then shared between the judiciary and our county governments, since it is their laws that were contravened. And those now come as unconditional allocations. The third schedule contains conditional allocations from proceeds of loans and grants from development partners. Honorable Speaker, many of these loans and grants touch on very sensitive areas of our national resources management. And if you look at the schedule, Honorable Speaker, you see money from IDA on water and sanitation that touch on healthcare. You see money that goes to the Kenya Urban Support Program on urban development grants, grants that have transformed in a great manner many of our towns, including my own town in Kikuyu. Kikuyu town was transformed through allocations by the World Bank program under the Kenya Urban Support Program. There is a KISIP, the Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, that has benefited many people, especially those in urban areas where there are informal settlements. And they have benefited immensely from these allocations, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, sad, Honorable Speaker, that last year we lost the opportunity to pass this bill, because when we published this bill and it went to the other house, they included the road maintenance levy fund amount, an amount of about 10 billion shillings in this bill, and amended. And when we disagreed with them, Honorable Speaker, we went into a mediation process that then lapsed at the end of the last financial year. The import of that lapse, Honorable Speaker, is that our counties continue to lose. And when our county governments are losing, Honorable Speaker, our constituents are losing. It is our own constituents who can benefit from this water for sanitation. And either the IDA projects or monies that are going to finance locally led climate action programs that are also coming from IDA, food system resilience programs. There is a National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project that has an amount of almost 5 billion shillings that should be going to our counties, Honorable Speaker. And I gave the case example last week of a county where they are saying they are losing money under these IDA projects.
Order, members. Leader, 1 minute. Order, members. Honorable members. Order. Order, Honorable Soro and team, please. Order there. Honorable Wangwe, please, let's consult in low tone because the matter being moved by the leader is an important matter that affects our counties. You may proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I was giving the case example of a county that I don't want to name, where we are being told because of the impasse on the RMLF and this bill that came out of the RMLF and moved on to this additional county allocations bill. A county governor was telling me they are losing 1.1 billion shillings that should be going to water and sanitation and health programs because of 173 million shillings that should be going to RMLF. And that is the case across the country, not just that one county, which I take the liberty not to name, Honorable Speaker, so that I don't expose that governor to their colleagues in the Council of Governors. And I'm saying that, Honorable Speaker, because I really want to plead with the Council of Governors and the Senate to allow this bill to pass as published. Because we are in the last 2-3 months to the end of this financial year. It is sad that 3 months to the end of the financial year, we are yet to finalize with these additional county allocations. And as I was saying, the loss is not to the National Treasury. The loss is not to the National Assembly. The loss is not to the Senate or to the Council of Governors. The loss is to the people of Kenya who cannot access funds, Honorable Speaker, going into their healthcare programs, funds going into water and sanitation, funds going to improve infrastructure under the KUSIP and KISIP programs. And I know there are many counties, Honorable Speaker, including my own county of Kiambu, where we had roads, for instance, my road in a place called Ondire, and another one that goes from Renguti through Kanyayo to join the Ondire Makaresha Road, that were to be done under the KUSIP funds. But they cannot be done because of this grandstanding in pursuit of just 10 billion shillings, while we have other billions that are being held in this bill. And therefore want to implore on the Senate and our Council of Governors to allow this bill to be approved by this House and the other House to give them additional allocations over and above the division of revenue. We'll be publishing before the end of this week the division of revenue bill for the financial year 2025-2026. But how sad that we are publishing another division of revenue bill and subsequently another additional allocations bill for the next financial year, where we are here to finalize with the one for this current financial year. Therefore, I want to urge members to support and plead with the other House not to wait for this bill to go to them and they amend to bring in again the RMLF funds, because they know the challenge that is the RMLF or the fuel levy funds. They know the challenge that they will encounter in this House. And therefore, it is punishing counties and punishing our own constituents if they disagree. And therefore, as I move, I want to request that the other House, that when we approve this bill, and I do hope that we'll be able to approve it, hopefully before we proceed on the short recess or immediately after, that we allow counties, Honorable Speaker, to access these monies. If I look through this bill, Honorable Speaker, I see a total of, especially on the county aggregation industrial parks, and I saw His Excellency the President inspecting the one in Busia, and beautiful work ongoing. Many other counties, including the county of Kiambu, Kirinyaga, Kwale, Machakos, Meru, Migori, Mombasa, Murang'a, Nakuru, Nandi, Nyamira, Siaya, Trans Nzoia, Uasin Gishu. They ought to be benefiting, plus many others, at least 19 counties. Each county is slated to receive 105.3 million for the county aggregation and industrial parks. These county aggregation and industrial parks are not just creating opportunities for our farmers and our business people to get a place where they can carry on their trade, but it's also creating opportunities, employment opportunities for people in our counties, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, every minute that we lose, we are losing job opportunities. We are losing opportunities for these 19 counties to access this money, Honorable Speaker. If you look at the community health promoters money, Honorable Speaker, it's also in this bill. Part of what was envisaged under the health laws that we passed was that the national government, together with the county governments, would put resources together to pay stipends to our community health promoters to help in the actualization of a universal health coverage dream, Honorable Speaker, which is now a reality under the Social Health Insurance Fund. But it cannot succeed if we are not adequately resourcing our community health promoters. Their money is in this bill. Therefore, I urge our colleagues in the other house again to help. There are also salary arrears, Honorable Speaker, for county government health workers. Following the return of the return to work formula that was agreed on between the Health Workers Association and the governments, the national government committed to provide the first phase of the bargain in the 2024-2025 financial year, amounting to 1.759 billion. And the bill contains a similar provision towards settlement of the salary arrears of the health workers in the counties as per the number of doctors in a county. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, you've seen our health workers threatening to go on strike because of these arrears from the collective bargaining agreements, and this money is in this bill. I'm only mentioning these things, Honorable Speaker, for everybody to bear the weight of the importance of this bill and why we do not need to fight between us, the Senate, and the Council of Governors on the enactment of this bill. And I really want to plead with them, and this opportunity to plead with them, to allow this bill to pass as published so that these counties can access these monies and our people benefit, Honorable Speaker. With those very many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request the Honorable Jematia, who is a member of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, what the Honorable Junet Mohammed called among the remnants that are remaining in that committee, because they considered this bill to second this bill, and I beg to move, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Jematia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And I must say, it is not very palatable now to be a member of a budget committee, but I think we did our best. Also to say, the work of budget committee is not done by members only. It is done by departmental and all of us.
Honorable Jematia, you are getting out of order.
Thank you.
Proceed to second.
And as I second this bill, which is very timely, Mr. Speaker, I also want to reiterate what the leader of majority have told us, that it is key that we pass this bill at this time because it's a very timely bill. And Mr. Speaker, I must also say, I don't envy being a governor in Kenya today because of the things, most of the problems, monetary problems that they go through. And if you see and look at the activities that is happening in the counties, the biggest problem in the counties is lack of funds. And this bill is going to enable governors dispatch and do their work comfortably, and specifically on matters grants, on matters universal health coverage, and even the aggregation of industrial parks that has been relaunched several times by the head of state and the wishes of the people of these counties. Mr. Speaker, this additional funds is going to take this country through the counties in a very positive way. And I only hope that the governors are going to be better managers and make sure these monies are not lost along the way through corruption, embezzlement, and privileges, so that we are able to build this country and embrace our other level of governance, that is the counties, and devolution, and enable Kenyans to get better services through this money. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And you beg to? Give her the mic.
And I beg to support. Thank you. 2 seconds, sorry. 2 seconds.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the county government's additional allocations bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025, be now read a second time. We have on my screen here number 1, Joshua Mwalio. And number 2, Wilberforce Oundo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to stand here and support the County Government Additional Allocation Bill, Bill number 2 of 2025. Honorable Speaker, the essence of devolution was to disperse funds to the rural areas, to get funds from the center so they can go to the periphery. Honorable Speaker, the idea was equity, because in many days during KANU's days, whenever you never used to vote for KANU or for President Moi, your area will be starved of development. You will be told, hakuna pesa, hakuna pesa, hakuna pesa, hakuna pesa. And Honorable Speaker, I remember when they wanted you to vote for them, for KANU in a nearby election, they will bring electricity poles, sprinkle them around. If the elections don't go the right way, the poles are carried away, like happened in Kipipiri, I think 1993 or 1994. It's the wisdom of Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, who has fought relentlessly for devolution, that now we have a situation where at least some substantial amount of money goes to the counties every single year, regardless of their political inclination. And for this, all Kenyans will be forever be grateful to the magnanimity, resiliency, and the ability to struggle for the common people of Kenya in the name of Raila Amolo Odinga. Honorable Speaker, when we undertook the new constitution of 2010, it obviously became at every budgeting point there are residual funds that remain in the national government. And that residual funds, it therefore means they must be disbursed to the counties. It's the wisdom of this House that we came up that we have an annual additional county allocation bill each year to look at the services that ought to be devolved, that have retained to the national level, to look at what are areas of collaboration, so that as we collaborate between the national level and the county government, then funds follow functions. It's on that score, Honorable Speaker, that we are here today. Honorable Speaker, in totality, Honorable Speaker, the county governments are getting a substantial amount of money in additional allocation. And this, Honorable Speaker, goes towards, first of all, CAIP, that's County Aggregation Industrial Park. There's go to community health promoters. We go to basic salary arrears for county health workers. Honorable Speaker, we go to the issue of court fines that are also being given to the counties. Honorable Speaker, we go to the loans and grants that are also being given to the counties and shared and guaranteed by the national government. What are we saying, Honorable Speaker? We are saying, in addition to the equitable share, they are going to get 410. There is additional funds. Honorable Speaker, unfortunately, we are only 3 weeks or 3 months to the end of the financial year. We are here where we are because of the intransigent behavior of the Senate and the big-headed behavior of the Council of Governors. If we had resolved this thing much earlier, the funds will be ready in the counties to undertake the relevant functions. Honorable Speaker, we like it or not, between now and the end of the year, financial year, it's very unlikely, Honorable Speaker, that a number of these funds, this allocation meant for fiscal projects will be absorbed. Very unlikely. The 10 billion or so, 10 billion or so, is unlikely to be absorbed. what the governors will do, will park the money in their accounts. As the control of budgets always says, they have a spent amount of money. So, Honorable Speaker, we do expect by the end of, once the disbursement has gone through, once Senate has passed as it is, and the disbursement have gone through, Honorable Speaker, we expect our health workers, the community health promoters, all to be paid their salary arrears that some have been running for several months. Because that's the anchor of universal health care. Without health promoters, then we have really nothing on it. Honorable Speaker, we also want to bring to the attention to the counties that the loans and the grants that were being shared to the counties, this is public debt. And public debt invariably must be used for the purposes that was meant for. Remember, we continue to saddle the people of Kenya with additional debts. We must therefore, at all, whatever it happens, we must get it done in the right way. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, is related to this matter. Let me take this opportunity to thank the Cabinet of Kenya for approving the elevation of Bumbe TTI to be a national polytechnic. Honorable Speaker, I remember nostalgia. In 1977 or 78, as a small boy, lining up on the road with a miniature can flag and national flag, singing good songs, to patriotic song, to the then Vice President Moi, when he was driving all the way to go and launch the as a youth polytechnic, 1970-something. Honorable Speaker, because of geopolitics and because they hated some of us, we have been requesting this oldest polytechnic to be elevated national polytechnic. We have always been given a wide berth. But today, somehow, by the miracle of God, we have now a national polytechnic. And I urge you, Honorable Speaker, to continue praying for people of Busia, because many times we are ignored. Nothing ever good comes to our place. Even when they are sharing things in this place, you never hear anybody from Busia being mentioned anywhere. Even the little that we have is normally taken away. With those very many marks, Honorable Speaker, I support.